Good morning, everyone. It's Alex. Welcome to the channel. Uh, Today we have a whole bunch. Oh man, it's falling over. We have a whole bunch of vintage to open, so I want to get through this pile. And I recently saw a video from Rudy talking about how vintage, or not vintage, Silver Age Magic is dead, right? Not going to progress anymore, not going to gain any more value. And I actually thought it was a good topic to talk about why I think that's actually good for the vintage market, what I like to play with. So, go through some of these packages, look at some old cards, and why I think we're actually doing okay with vintage magic. So, hope everyone's having a good morning. Just going to hang out with y'all and we're going to go through this. So, all right. So Rudy's video was really about how the modern age stuff, modern age magic is getting all the hype, getting all the money, and nobody's really paying attention to or wanting or having any desire for vintage legacy. He was talking specific about Silver Age, Urza's Block, and a few others. Um, how that indicates poor financial performance in the future for Silver Age stuff. And I kind of lump in vintage and things like that, although I think he made a distinction between it. Now, he was normally a kind of a permal, but was talking pretty down on it. It's not usual, so it struck me as odd. However, I think it's actually a good sign. Give me a second here. These are actually really nice condition alphas. So I got a bunch of alphas here, I think. I think I have some Arabian Nights, and I got one other card in there. Let's see. We'll see if we have time for that guy. So, nice. Flesh out the green commons, right? All right, so he thinks it's a bad sign. Why do I think it's a good sign? There are a couple things going on right now that really indicate historically what I would call a market top for, get out of there, for the modern stuff that's been going crazy. So, hello, Fog. Good to see you. I love the green commons in Alpha. The artwork on these is just beautiful. A little dinged up, but that's okay. So, first things first, prices. Prices for modern are nuts. Okay, it started with um, not too long ago, but really Final Fantasy kind of drove the insanity one step further, right? Uh, the golden chocobos, the collector boosters. We're talking thousands of dollars to get your hands on a collector booster box now. I don't even want to guess on how much the chocobos are going for right now. You see people talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. To me, that's a market top. Okay. Pricing is not matching what should be, in normal conditions, the value of modern cards and sealed products. Right? There's a disconnect, and it's pretty extreme. Okay. Nobody could argue that it's good to go from like a Ravnica remastered a year or so ago at like $200 to, I don't even know where it is right now, but it's 500, 600. And Final Fantasy just coming out. Spider-Man's not even out yet, and they're talking $1,000 for a collector booster box. Right? That's a disconnect. That is a disconnect. I love Stone Ring, and these are nice, clean copies too. I'm so happy these came in. There is a significant disconnect there. So that's number one. You have a price disconnect in modern cards. Now, there's also, with Rudy's video, being kind of the first one, but a lot of people have been talking about for a while, is a negative set of commentary on vintage. Right? Vintage has always been this perma bear market issue, 5, 6 years of no gains. And when people start talking negative about a commodity, whatever that is, you can be pretty confident that sentiment is on its way to shift. If everybody is focusing on another thing and talking down or not buying or not adding value to another one. Ugh, what the heck? Somebody chewed on this one. There's a 2-year-old gnawing on alpha card somewhere. What the heck? All right, I don't even know what that is. I'll have to look at that a little more later. Okay. So, negative commentary is usually also a sign of a market bottom. So, we have a market top coming in on tape here, modern stuff, and a market bottom with negative commentary on vintage with little to no. Oh, who put the? I love you ABU games, but oh man, you put so much packing tape in there. All right, we'll clean that up later. Sweet. So we had 2 signs here of positive trends for vintage, and also the scalper community. So let's talk scalping real quick. This is really a big thing for Pokemon, but we start to see it now with Magic, modern Magic, actually. Maybe you. Always nice to get your stuff. With scalpers coming in, actually, it continues to hurt and drive pricing up for the modern, adding to the fuel of higher prices being a disconnect from value or from the value of the product. Quick sec. I love this card. This is like the red with the goblins. I don't know why. Like there is no value in playing with a 1-drop 1/1 with nothing. But this is just a cool looking card. I love this card. I will get more copies of this. I maybe a dozen, and I need more. Why? No reason why. There's not much reasoning when it comes to this hobby, but so scalpers continue to drive prices up. That's just going to further fuel the cycle of overdriving prices and pushing us to the point where there needs to be a correction. Right? Markets cannot go up indefinitely. We've learned that the hard way many times. So, put these 3 things together. I think it adds a quantitative reason for why I think vintage is in a good place and even poised for some increased values. Earthbind, I mean, I get it. There's a little bit of controversy over the artwork, but I think it's beautiful. Right? And a nice clean copy. All right, nobody chewed on the bottom of it, so I guess it's a bonus from my last set right there, right? God, that is nice, isn't it? We're going to do well today. This is over here. There we go. So we talked the quantitative bit. Now let's talk what I'm also seeing a lot of, this, what I'll call the nostalgia effect. Why vintage Magic, I think, is going to continue to show, I think I know what this is, continue to show an improvement financially, which I want to say once again, I don't particularly care how this does financially because I just love this stuff. But it's helpful that this does hold some value. Right? The amount of money I put into this, it's mentally helpful to know that there is some intrinsic value. Hang on one second here. I think I remember this guy. So I got this one on consignment, I think, and it had to fly in from Singapore. All right, nice packaging, I guess. And I was actually scared it was going to get stuck at customs, and I didn't know what that was going to do. So, but I don't do a lot of signed cards, but the pricing on this was pretty nice. And I do in my common sets, I usually keep 1 signed card for every one of them, and I didn't have a dark ritual. And this is so cool. A little bit of wear on it, but man, that is a beautiful card. That artwork, Sandra, well done. A little bit of damage up there, but that's okay. This isn't a master set copy, but that is so cool. Like, there are so many dark rituals out there, but you pull out this guy and it's just the OG. That's so cool. All right, sorry, got lost. The nostalgia effect. So, there are plenty of people, me included, that find intrinsic value in the nostalgia side of it. There's an emotional benefit to these cards. And I think a lot of people these days are looking for that, right? We're all in our 30s and 40s. We all grew up playing the game. We have families now. I love my kids, by the way. We have jobs. We work the grind. But we need something that provides a emotional reminder of our childhoods. Because as some of us are finding, it was truly a great time as kids. I don't even know what the heck this is now. This one I lost. What is this? We're all going to find out together. Oh. It's the second package that came in this plastic cool case. We need some type of emotional outlet, let's call it. And looking at these cards and getting taken back to our childhood, like I open this plastic, getting taken back to our childhood and the memories and the fun playing out in the back of the school with cardboard boxes of these original cards. That nostalgia thing, I mean, forget the money side of it. I'll pay for it and not get any value out of it just from the emotional. That is something that you can't really put a dollar value on, but it is a necessary part of life right now. And I think a lot of us are looking for that, right? We're looking for what will provide that flashback to a better time or a simpler time. And this is it for a lot of us. This right here is it. It's not the modern stuff, it's the vintage. It's looking back at like a Stone Rain, right? This simple card, looking back at it, I can remember playing this on the lunch tables out of my high school. This Army of Allah, I remember looking at these in the old stores. I didn't have any allowance money, but I remember these. And that is such value these days to get some type of emotional connection outlet, whatever, and enjoy these older cards. You can't do that all the time. So, that right there is the qualitative side of it. And as some of us are getting into it and we have disposable income and we have the ability to buy these cards and remember these times of our lives, it is, oops, there's more tape. It is something we're willing to spend money on, right? So what does this mean? I think this means, okay, I think this means that there is upside ahead for the vintage market. I think there's going to be more demand because remember, there were only 1,000 alpha rares. So let's talk alpha right now. 1,000 alpha rares, roughly, ever printed. Take out half. Okay, half. 500 left. The other 500 lost, burned, used as bookmarks, don't exist anymore. And that's just a me number. That's not written anywhere. But just 30 years later, there's only half left. So there's only 500 of these cards, 500 natural selections from alpha that you can get and collect. That supply is nowhere near what's necessary for what will be and could be the demand for vintage. And so, again, there is a lot of upside for vintage solely because there are a number of collectors that are going to come into the hobby. They started with modern, and once they get ingrained in the hobby, they want to go back for the original and they remember their childhoods and what these cards meant to them growing up. And they will look for these. And there are only 500 of these in the world. This is one of them. There's now only 499 more out there because this one's mine. So I think we're in a good place for vintage. I think we're in a good place long term for those that like to be in the hobby. And again, I don't use this as a financial asset. This isn't my retirement. This isn't getting opened because I don't know what the heck I'm doing with this sticker. Stand by. Technical difficulties. There we go. But there will be people that will come here solely for the nostalgia. I'm going to crack this out, by the way. I didn't buy it to be graded. I don't buy slabs a lot, but the price for this 7 was actually less than the market value of a nice natural selection. So I was able to snag it. Forgive me the glare. That guy is going into the master binder because I did not have one of these. Nice. All right, so again, vintage is going to do okay. We have a lot of high pricing in the modern that are going to start to show itself in a correction. The negative commentary, I love Rudy's stuff, by the way. It just struck me as odd that he would bring up negative commentary on Silver Age or older cards. That also adds to the argument that we're going to see a good future for vintage. We being me and other people like me, I think, hopefully some of you guys watching, love the old stuff. And we will always gravitate towards having some of these cards versus, Spider-Man or Avatar or whatever, which are cool. I don't think I'll buy any because it's just too damn expensive. I can buy some more vintage, but this is the stuff that we're going to gravitate towards. So if you're into vintage, I think it's going to be good for us. I think for those that are invested in it or those that just love the hobby, there is a bright future for it. So stick it out. Ignore the haters. This stuff is the best. Wish the glare wasn't all that there. Let me just hold it like this. It is such a cool card. I'm definitely going to break this out. I may do that on camera just so you can watch me flail around with a screwdriver. But yeah, this one's going to be cool. Okay. That's it, guys. I think I've gone on too long. Man, it's 18 minutes. Okay. I got to stop this thing soon. So if you like this type of content, stick around. Give me some comments on the video. Really looking for some feedback on things I can do better, either video-wise or content-wise, because I'm having a lot of fun with this YouTube stuff, and some of the people that have reached out with the love of the vintage things. I'm happy just to add some additional content to YouTube because I just don't think there's a lot of it. Right? There's just a lot of people talking the new stuff, and I get it. There's money there. There's new content you can get there, but I will always look for some of the older things, right? Because you can never go wrong with an old Earthbind in good condition or a Dark Ritual, right? This is the nostalgia. We talk about the nostalgia effect. This is it. Because I am right now back in high school playing cards with my friends, and it was a much simpler time. I hope for y'all too. Okay, that's it. Y'all be safe. I'll see you soon.